Alright guys, so here's another video on rational exponents. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, let me see if I could do this video a little bit faster than the previous one. So let's do this one. So so this one here. The way you want to do this is you want to, well, first of all, what they're asking you here is to write it in simplest radical form. Okay, so it's in radical form. So radical form is this already. This is already radical form, but they want you to write it in the simplest way possible. So if you need to combine or do some combinations like that, then that would be the simplest way. So on this one here, to write it in simplest radical form, we need to combine this one with this one. The way we do that is by, first of all, you want to rewrite this as in exponential form. So you want to rewrite it in exponential form. So in here, what I did was I just rewrote it in exponential form. Why do you want to do that? Because now what you can do is add this one plus this one there. Well, 1/3 plus 1/3 is 2/3. So what I can do is I can rewrite this again in exponential form, in radical form, and it will look like this. First of all, it will be the 4 there, then the 3 will be right there, and then my 2 will be right there. Okay, that will be simplest radical form. Okay. All right. What some people do as well, this 2, they write it like that, and then they write this as 16. So that's another answer as well that you can write as well. All right, so let's do this one here. We have some division here. What we want to do is let's rewrite it using the same base. Notice that I have a 2 and a 4 there. So the base will be 2 on this one. So again, I want to rewrite that 4 as 2 to the second so that I could have the same base as that right there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite those in exponential form. Okay, so exponential form will look like the following. It will look like this: 2 and then 2 to the third. Okay, so this is 2 and this 2 right there. That's all I'm doing. And then we have 2. Remember, there's like a little 1 right there. So we have 1/6. Remember, when we have the same base, this is something you should have learned in Algebra 1. When you have the same base, what you can do is you can subtract the exponents. So, and when you're dividing. So because we're dividing here, what we're going to do is we're actually going to subtract. So it's going to be 2/3 minus 1/6, which we are going to multiply this 3 times 2 and this by 2 to get 6 there. Remember, we want to have the same denominator there, so it's going to be 4/6 plus 1/6. I'm sorry, it should be minus there. So 4 minus 1 is 3/6, which is the same as 2/2. And then that will be the square root of 2. That's our final answer. Okay, so when you have a fraction like that, you can subtract. When you have the same base, you can subtract just like what I did in here. All right, so now let's do number 7 here. Of course, these ones are a little bit more challenging. So notice you have a 27 and a 9. So the base for this one will be 3. Why? Because we can write 27 as 3 to the third, and I can write 9 as 3 to the second. So now, as you can see, we have the same base. Now let's go ahead and translate that to exponential form. That would be 3 and 3 over 4 times 3 and then 2 over 8. Okay, notice that Notice that 2 over 8 is the same as 1 over 4. So now, remember, since we have the same base, I'm able to add this one and this one there. So I'll get 3 plus 1 will be 4 over 4. And then we just get 1 there, so we just get 3 as our final answer on that one, actually. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one here. We have division here. So we have a 32 and a 4. Let's see, we can rewrite that 32 as 2 to the 5th. And I'm going to actually rewrite this using fraction mode. We have division, but I'm going to write it as a fraction. And then we have 2 to the second, therefore 2 to the second. Okay, remember, you always want to have the same base. Now let's go ahead and write it in exponential form. We're going to get 2, 5 over 10 over 2 to the 8th. Let's actually simplify those exponents. 5 over 10 is the same as 1 over 2. And then 2 over 8 is the same as 1 over 4. Remember, when you divide just like this, if you have the same base, okay, the same base as that, what you can do is you can write it like this. 2, this will be 1/2 minus the 1/4. Let's rewrite that half as 2 over 4 so that I can subtract. And then we get, 2 minus 1 will be 1/4. Let's rewrite that in exponential form. And I'll get 4 there over 2. And this will be my final answer for this problem, number 8. A little bit complicated. Hopefully you guys understood what I did there. If you didn't get it, what you can do is re-watch it again and see if you can understand it a little better. Alright, same idea with this one. We want to simplify this expression. So what I could do on this one here, for example, okay, so write that down. I could write this one as x and a half, this one as x and 1/3, and just rewrite it in exponential form, and then x and 1/6. Okay, our goal in here will be to add all those now since we have the same base. Let me actually rewrite those fractions in such way that they have the same power. Since 2 and 3 are factors of 6, what I could do is, first of all, multiply the 2 times 3 and I get 3 over 6. 3 over 6 is the same as half. Then I have 1 over 3. I want to have 6 on the bottom there. 3 times 2 is 6, so 1 times 2 will be 2 right there. So 2 over 6 is the same as 1/3. And then 1/6, we don't really have to do anything to that. So all we're going to do now is we're going to add all those together. We have 3 plus 2 plus 1. That will be 6 over 6, which in reality will be 1, which we actually just get x. All right, let's go ahead and do another example here. Number 10. All right, so we have some multiplication and division going on at the same time. It's a little bit more complex, huh? All right, so what we're going to do is, let me rewrite all of this as a fraction. And at the same time, I'm going to write it in exponential form. That's okay with you. So this one here, I'm going to write it as x and 1/4 times, we have x and 1/6 over, because we're dividing all of that, x and 1/3. The first thing I want to do is combine the first two together. So we have to do 1/4 plus 1/6 over x and 1/3. All right, so let's cross multiply, and we will get 6 times 1 will be 6, and then 6 times 4 is 24. We get 4 and then 24 again. All right, so let's add those two, and then we get 10 over 24, which I could simplify by dividing that by 2 as 5 over 12, then x and 1/3. So we're going to continue this way now. Now, remember that I could subtract now. So it's going to be x, it's going to be 5 over 12 minus, because we have division, we have to subtract, 1 over 3. Let's rewrite that 1 over 3 as, well, if I want to get 12, we multiply top and bottom by 4, and I get 4 over 12. We end up getting 1 on top with the 12 on the bottom. Let's rewrite that in radical form, or let me see. Oh, give answers in exponential form. So actually, this will be my final answer. Okay. So yeah, that one was a little bit more complicated. Let's do 11 and 12 here. So first of all, on this one here, I want to rewrite that 2.5 as a fraction. We kind of went over that. It will be like 25 over 10, which is the same as 5 over 2. So I'm going to rewrite that as 5 over 2. What you can do on this one is multiply. And then you will get 5 times 3 is 15 over 4, which you could continue to multiply, and then you will get 30. 2 times 15 will be 30 over 4, which you could simplify to 15 over 2. And let's see, they want us to write our answers in exponential form, so we will leave our answers just like that. Alright, so on number 12, what we need to do is distribute. So I'm going to multiply that first. So we have 1/2 times 8 and 3 over 2 minus, now let's distribute that there. It's going to be 8 1/2 times 2, 8 and 1/2. So now we're going to combine terms. Remember, since I have the same base here, what I could do is just add this and this right here. And that will give me 4 over 2 minus, and let's add this one plus this one there. That will give us just 1. Half plus half is 1. Let me put the 2 right there. Now we get a squared minus 2a as our final answer. Alright, let's move on to the next one here. Now we're going to be solving equations in here. So to solve an equation like this one here, so this one, definitely pay attention at this one, because this one is it's pretty complicated if you don't understand it. But it's actually not that complicated actually. What we have to do is multiply times the reciprocal of this exponential fraction right here. What is a reciprocal? So if I have 3 over 2, the reciprocal will be 2 over 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this times 2 over 3 times the reciprocal. Now, whatever I do to one side of an equation, I have to do it to the other side of the equation. I can't just multiply 2 over 3 and not do anything to the other side. I have to do 2 over 3 as well. So what that's going to do is, what happens that this and this and this and this cancels out. Okay, and you end up getting x minus 1. Now this right here, we know how to deal with that already. This one we can rewrite it as the cube root of 8 to the second power. Okay, the cube root of 8 is actually 2, because 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. So the cube root is 2. And then we have 2 to the second, well, that will be 4. And I don't know why I put a 1 right there. So 4 right there. Then we add 1 on both sides, and we end up getting 5 as our final answer for this one. Okay, so that's how we do those. Let's actually solve this one. What you could do on this one here, first of all, before you do anything, what you can do is divide by 5 on both sides, so that you get x and negative 1/3 is equal to, well, 20 divided by 5 is 4. Now we want to multiply times the reciprocal. So the reciprocal of this one, let me actually rewrite this one as 1 over 3 so you can see it better like that. We want to multiply times 3 over 1. But since I have a negative right there, and I actually want to get a positive, I'm actually going to multiply times negative 3 over 1. So in this one, it will also be negative 3 over 1. And again, negative 3 over 1 is just negative 3. So all of this cancels out, and we get x is equal to 4 to the negative 3. Okay, so 4 to the third, if you can grab a calculator there, I believe it's 64, but let me just confirm that. Yeah, 64. And since we have a negative right there, it will be 1 over 64 actually. Okay, and that's how we do those problems that you see in there. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the next one here. Let's see if you can solve those two right there. Okay, so try number 15 first, see if you can get the answer for that one there. Alright, so here's what you should have gotten. First of all, you want to divide by 6 here and 6 there. So you have x and 2 over 3 is equal to, well, 54 divided by 6 is 9. And then let's go ahead and multiply this 2 over 3 times the reciprocal of that. So that would be 3 over 2. So that would also be 3 over 2 on this side. And we do that so that this and this will cancel. We end up getting just x by itself. Alright, so we can change this into exponential form now. The square root of 9 would just be 3. And then 3 to the third would just be 27 as our final answer. Okay, let's go ahead and do number 16 here. What you want to do on this one first is, the first thing you want to do is add 3 on both sides, because you want to have this be by itself. So now we get t minus 4 to 2 over 5 there is equal to 4. So now what we need to do is multiply times the reciprocal there, so it will be 5 over 2, and then we will have to do 5 over 2 on this side as well. So this and this cancels, and we end up getting t minus 4 is equal to, well, we can rewrite this as a radical. Okay, the square root of 4 is 2, and then 2 to the 5th power will be 32. And then we add 4 on both sides, and we end up getting 36 as our final answer for number 16. Okay, let's do those last two right there, and then we'll be done with this video. So for number 17, what you want to do, we have 3x plus 1, and then 3 over 4 there. Then we have an 8 right there. What you can do is multiply this one times 4 over 3, which is the reciprocal. So this one will be 4 over 3 as well. And then we end up getting 3x plus 1. Because again, this and this and this will cancel. And then this one we can write it as a radical. Which the cube root of 8 is 2. And then 2 over 4, 2 to the 4th is 16. We subtract 1 on both sides, we get 15. Divide by 3 on both sides, we get 5 as our final answer. Alright, let's do number 18 here. You want to multiply this times 3 over 2, and then 3 over 2 there. We will have x squared plus 4 be by itself, because this and this cancels, which is what I want. We have the cube root of 25 to the third power. We're going to simplify that. Okay, the square root of 25 is 5, and then 5 to the third is 125. We're going to subtract 4 and 1 on both sides. We get 121. Take the square root on both sides, and you get plus or minus 11 as our final answer. Okay. Alright guys, so that is it for this video. Hopefully you learned something new today, and I'll see you guys on the next video.